This lovely script came across the table, entitled Untitled Script. The process began with Eric Castillo writing a script about two guys that go to a rock concert and end up not making it, and he turned it in for our 401 project.
Those who had written a script for 401 just turned in their scripts, and we all read them, and the very next day we all voted on it.
The class chose it out of, I think there was 4 other projects. Mine didn't get picked, but I'm not bitter.
It turns out mine was chosen, and I was surprised.
How did I feel about the script that was chosen?
Yes. We decided to go with comedy instead of taking such a far reach on these new things because we're really good at comedy.
Then Eric, as head writer, got together with the director and the DP, and they wrote the final draft.
Me, Eric, and Zach Whitehorn went and rewrote the script, and that's the script that we used. For Take It to the Limit, I DP'd, I wrote, I edited, and I also did the sound. I was the director, the actor. I made a sweet poster.
My role was a producer, AD specifically. It's harder than what it looks like, I'll tell you that much. It's not easy, I've never done it.
Which means I assist the first AD. Basically, I just helped out with the odd jobs that were required.
My role was the gaffer.
It's kind of goofy, but it's doing the job.
Assistant camera.
What's wrong with this thing?
Audio guy.
Producer, editor, and script supervisor. It was very stressful at times because you're trying to get so many things done.
So my actual title on the picture is executive producer. I'm kind of the liaison between the studio and the students, and one part of my job, and to try to let them make their own picture and not me make it for them.
I was chosen to document the making of the movie.
My fridge. That's where I keep my food. That's enough of that.
All the times I got told not to record.
Turn it off.
Yes.
Well, your camera's
Go.
You have to go in.
No, I don't need you in here. I need all you guys to go away.
Oh, yeah, this is a private conversation.
Yes, private.
So you want me documenting it?
No.
I think that'd be great for the behind the scenes.
There are
This is
things
all
about-
behind the
we're
scenes.
talking some things about actors.
Yes. No. Bye. Stop filming me. Look that way.
Do you think any of this is in focus, Eric?
I am trying to email potential cast members for our film, so that way we won't have to act in it.
The casting process was kind of interesting. Didn't really go the way that I think everyone thought it would go.
How to properly do casting is very important because, you know, if you don't know how to do it right, you make actors mad. They don't want to work with you.
Like nobody really knew. Oh, hey, what am I looking for? You know, what am I supposed to do? You know, because it's like it's our first time, so it was just more of like, oh, they made me laugh.
At first, there was way too many people in the room for the actor or actress to audition in front of. At times, there were like 5 different people telling the actor to do this or do that.
You know, Zach would say, hey, say it with a southern accent, and then Sean would stand up and say, well, say it like it's somebody from the South. Oh, what the director just said. Later on, we got to the point where it was only the director and the producers in the room casting.
We did find a few excellent actors, but a couple of the actors that we picked just didn't work out in the roles that we originally picked them for, so we had to either move them around or just get rid of them completely.
The leading roles were chosen, and then our first night of shooting didn't go as planned.
You're still too cool! Damn it! I can't help it! I know, you just exude the coolness. I mean, it's part of who you are, apparently.
Well, originally we had 2 actors come in to play the 2 main parts. And they were good, but I don't think they really knew who the characters were supposed to be. They were playing them different from the way that the 3 writers had written them. We basically wrote Ricky to be Zach Duvall.
I was woken up by Aaron. I was like, hello? The first thing I heard was I got casted by default because I got guilt tripped into coming here. That's 100% truth. Aaron Barton is a faggot. Aaron Barton, the cinematographer. He lives in Benbrook.
The leading roles ended up being Zach Duvall as Ricky and Zachary Whitehorn, myself, as Chad.
I have to admit, this is funny. This is great. Hey.
How do you feel about Zach being your co-actor?
This is a fucking double trick question.
I love it. At first, it was just the whole crew going out, driving around, and coming back with no locations at all.
We're doing a little location scouting. So far, it's not going too good.
What kind of locations are we looking for?
We need some sort of a gas station and a chub and a long stretch of road, apparently, and yeah, I'm not seeing any of it.
Well, the locations were pretty hard to come by at first.
Like the Texas Bar and Grill, for instance, there was a bar and people got drunk, and then they tried to film.
And then we shot here at school in front of a green screen.
There was a big lawn location.
And Ryan offered his house.
I got a hug.
Another hug.
Another one. Add that one to the list.
There was a lot of problems that we didn't really foresee because in the location choosing phase, you know, they were asking me, hey, Aaron, where would you like to do it? Because, you know, I was DP, and I was like, I don't really care. You know, just take me someplace and I'll film it. Looking back, I probably should have gone and looked at them.
The Inwood was where we got to be our concert venue.
The construction was a problem. There was loud noises, which didn't help.
We were trying to get this one shot outside the Inwood Theater, and they were doing street construction. They literally had a jackhammer tearing up the street.
It's pretty frustrating, you know, trying to get good audio, and you have a bulldozer ripping up the road and just kind of loud.
And that was just awful.
We were gonna do this scene, you know, it's like all of a sudden it couldn't happen.
Audio was pretty shitty.
Bastards.
The major problem today is audio. We got that stupid construction team over there. Yeah. But they seem to be hauling a butt to the other end of the street.
They're on a break here with the 7-Eleven.
Okay. Back to one, they're on a break.
And then we were gonna use the piece of equipment.
On the way over to the Inwood Theater, they had packed the jib into the back of a truck, but they didn't put it in the case. So when it arrived, because me and Zach Whitehorn were already at the Inwood, you know, kind of scouting the place out, we discovered that the jib was broken.
Wait, let me get this straight. I came out. I rushed.
Hey, Keith called you, not us.
Okay,
So
when
what are you saying?
Well, see, here's the problem still.
Work out your thoughts.
Speak. This got to go onto a set that's actually paying for it tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Okay.
This is in a non-usable jib now for them. So long term, with our rentals, this kind of puts us in a bad situation.
Okay.
Somehow, some way, from here to the set, we broke it.
There were a lot of bad circumstances.
Why would they have the part?
Why wouldn't they have the part?
Their shit's not broken. Their shit's broken now. No one keeps parts around laying around waiting for shit to break. Especially stuff that's made out of like pure metal.
So how the fuck did that
I don't keep spare lenses around for when the JVC lens breaks.
Here's what we
It puts us in a bad situation with any other kind of rentals, like say Friday.
Brian Mayo and his company, great guys, helped the school out a lot. They lent us their jib. And it wasn't transported properly. And a little ring broke, a little clasp broke on it.
Most of the time when stuff like this is purchased, it has extra parts with it as replacement parts. Especially very small things like that. Lenses are expensive as hell on their own right, so you wouldn't have replacements.
Everybody chill out, man.
Pretty much busted the shoot that night. We were already behind. So it was kind of like the most gut-wrenching moment, probably.
At this point, did you get your shots?
No. They canceled the shoot.
No, I just felt pretty bad because it was like we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, and it turns out that it couldn't work.
The problems that we had during the production, a lot of it was organization and just kind of focus. There was a lot of times where everyone didn't really know what they were doing or what was supposed to be accomplished.
He don't grip. If I take those gloves off, if I see him gripping again, you're going to be fired if you don't grip. You going to be fired?
It's a set.
No, it's not. It's his set.
Why not?
Because our set so that means he's a producer.
Yeah.
The director does not grip.
It's all part of it. We're all making.
The director does not grip. Do you want? Oh, I see a grade fall. Ooh, I see it falling. The director does not grip.
Do I get to grip?
You can grip.
My biggest problem was learning my role as a producer and learning what to do and how to do it correctly and on time. That's a big one.
Nothing can be that way for the organization of it. We may go way off schedule, but we at least have to have a schedule to start with. Is that okay? You get me?
Yes.
I know.
But that comes from.
I know the knee jerk is let's just get something shot. That never works. 100 years of filmmaking is against you on that, okay? 100 years of filmmaking says make a plan. Even if it's the wrong one, make a plan. Yeah, I saw throughout the production a total lack of respect for scheduling, being on time, not understanding how other people rely on other people. Like if blah blah is late, then blah blah's job is compromised. And so he's sitting there tapping his foot waiting for blah blah to show up.
It wasn't even anybody's fault. I think it was just the fact that we were all learning. And, it was one of those, it was like a really useful experience because sometimes, in order to learn, you kind of have to fuck up.
Yeah, in this production, there was a lot of people talking amongst themselves.
This is a real film, and you don't just go off and do things. I have an idea, let's go do this. You have other people depending on you and what you do. They all report to somebody to let everybody else know what's going on.
This ran into a lot of problems, particularly because some people were trying to do everything.
I was under the impression that he wouldn't even start until we had worked out all the shots and everything.
Well, he probably wouldn't. I don't know what he's working on. What is he working on? He isn't, until they have a shot list, how can he do film? Unless he's doing titles or something. I thought he was doing titles. You're not doing titles? I thought he was doing titles earlier. What is he doing? Somebody tell me. Producers,
Hold on.
I need it in English.
I sent you the email.
Okay.
Just tell me.
What is Sean doing now?
Sean was supposed to be doing.
Storyboards on what? They haven't done their shot list yet.
Well, I was under the impression that come tomorrow we were going to do video storyboards. And we were going to go out and
I heard
film.
that, but I didn't know what they didn't know about it. The producers didn't know
We
about
didn't
that.
know.
See,
You didn't know?
No.
Oh, well.
So
I mean, he was in the room when we were talking about it. Did he not?
Well, in the front room?
Yeah.
They were just chatting. We didn't know what was going to be going. You had to go through official channels.
Official channels.
Say, here's what we're thinking about doing. And they say yes or no because they know what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
A lot of individualism. I didn't see a lot of teamwork.
I saw a lot of misunderstandings and miscommunication problems.
That was basically our biggest problem, just communication or lack thereof.
Oh, just now we found out we're doing video storyboards. Well, we knew. Everybody else just found out. Yeah, we had to make it official because, we told everybody and everybody was just like,
They're joking.
We're like, director over here. You might want to listen to what he's saying. Go ahead and turn and look at the director right now. Go ahead.
There's a lot of times that people didn't really have foresight into problems that were going to arise.
Common sense details elude them. A plus B equals C is not for this generation.
At one point during the production, we had a production meeting, and we all kind of found out that the PM and the AD didn't know what their job positions were, and once they found out what their job positions were and what their responsibilities are, production went a lot smoother.
Your production crew is only as good as its weakest link. So your gaffer better be great, your grips better be great, or your show's going to suck.
I'm broke. I don't have any money.
I had to quit my job to do this, so I didn't have any money. I got La Madeline to cater a day.
I turned my personal truck into the grip truck. At times I was offered gas money for it, and I denied it.
Scotty hooked up a meal after a shoot one day. Probably didn't pay as much as Steve did, because Steve's the man.
Well, I mean, I reached in, out of my pocket a lot of the time to pay for the production, and family helped out.
Wow.
Hey man, it's a celebration of death.
Who brought that?
I did.
Did you
Tonight
really?
shoot.
Sometimes you just don't have the funding, and sometimes you just got to make it happen with what you got.
The things I learned from this production are be prepared and be organized, because a lot of things are fighting against you, and if you don't have a battle plan of some kind, things don't get accomplished.
Well, I've learned how to properly stow away equipment. I've learned how to cope with other personalities. I've learned a lot about setting up from lights to cameras to audio equipment, dealing with actors.
Making a movie is a difficult process, and you really have to love the art of filmmaking.
If you're going to make a movie with someone, you're probably going to end up hating them at one point and the other during the project.
You're a super douchebag.
I know, it's super.
I'm holding you to that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I've learned that you should do research on people you're going to hire for your film. If you don't have the proper person for a certain job, then there's no reason that person should be hired.
Making a movie with a bunch of people that you don't particularly care for is a lot harder than doing something on your own.
But I'm still willing to work with these guys again.
I'll make another film in a heartbeat.
I hate these people so much. Put that in your interview.